My name is Nina. I am 40 years old. When I was only 6 years old, my father tried to sell me. Today, I am happily married. I have a husband who loves me and 4 beautiful children. But my story has a tragic beginning. The day I was born, my father looked at me with hate. He wanted a son. To him, I was not a baby. I was a mistake. He told my mother that same night. He said it was her fault. My mother said nothing. She sat on the hospital bed and held me close to her chest. My mother worked day and night. She cleaned houses. She washed clothes. She cooked for other families. She came home with nothing left in her body, but she always found a way to feed me. But most of the money she earned went to my father. He loved alcohol more than he loved anything else. Every evening he drank. He would shout at my mother and break plates. We paid rent late every month. The landlord knocked on our door with an angry face. Some weeks we had bread and nothing else. My mother never complained. She just found another job. But then came the night I have never forgotten. I was 7 years old. I was sleeping next to my mother when my father woke me up. He combed my hair. He told me we were going somewhere nice. I was so happy. I thought, finally he loves me. I held his hand and walked with him into the dark street. He took me to a strange neighborhood. There were men standing outside. My father spoke to them in a low voice. I did not understand the words, but something was very wrong. Then I heard running behind us. My mother. She had woken up and found the bed empty. She ran through those dark streets. She grabbed me and held me so tightly. Because of her I stayed. Because of her I lived. Years passed. Every week was a struggle. Then, one summer morning, everything collapsed. I was 18. I was in the kitchen making tea when I heard a sound behind me. I turned around and my mother was on the floor. She had fainted. She was completely still. I screamed her name. She did not open her eyes. I did not know what to do. A neighbor heard me crying and helped me carry her out. He took us to the hospital. That evening, the doctor told me my mother had cancer. The doctor said the treatment needed to start immediately. If it did not start, she would die. That night, I went home. My father was sitting with his bottle. I walked to him and I got down on my knees beside him. I begged. I told him that his wife, the woman who had given everything for this family, was dying. He looked at me. Then he said, "Nina, I don't care about you or your goddamn mother. Go to hell for all I care. I could divorce her whenever I want." I stayed on my knees. I kept begging. Finally, he said he would take debts for the treatment money, but I would have to pay everything back within 1 month. I had nothing. I knew nothing. 1 month was impossible. I did not know what to do or where to go. Then my father told me. He said there was a way to make fast money. He said I should sell myself to men every night. Half this money would go to him, half would go to the treatment. He said it like it was nothing, like he was telling me to go buy bread from the shop. He said it to his own daughter without blinking. My blood went cold. But my mother was dying, and slowly, without even understanding, I found myself in a dark world, a world I never wanted to enter. I started spending nights with men who paid money. Half of the money went to my mother's treatment. The other half went straight to my father's hand. He knew what I was doing. He used me, his own daughter, for money. My heart was empty. But I visited my mother whenever I could. She held my hand and she would say, "Nina, you are working too hard." She did not know what kind of work. I never told her. I could not. I was 20 years old and I felt like I was already at the end of my life. Then one night, my father arranged a meeting with a man. He said this man paid very well. I went. The apartment was clean and quiet. The man who opened the door was calm, well dressed. He looked at me and his eyes were different from all the others. He looked at me like I was a person. His name was Marcus. He put money on the table, enough for weeks of treatment. And he said it was for my mother, all of it. He asked if I was hungry. He made tea. That night he slept on the couch. He did not come near me. He did not ask anything. This continued for several nights. He always slept on the couch. He always asked about my mother. He always paid for the treatment without question. One evening, he asked me to come to his study. He closed the door and sat across from me. He placed something on the desk, a police badge. "Nina," he said quietly, "I am a police officer. I have been watching your father for a long time. What he did to you as a child, what he is still doing to you now, these are serious crimes, and I want to make sure he never does this to anyone again." He asked me to be brave one final time. He asked for my story. "I will tell you everything," I said, and I did. My father went to prison. My mother survived. But Marcus did something even greater. He stayed. He helped me finish school. He paid for therapy when I couldn't afford it. He sat with me through nights when I woke up shaking from nightmares. He invested in my future when I had stopped believing I had one. I went back to college. I studied harder than I ever had in my life. Marcus was there at my graduation. Years later, he was there on one knee. We got married. I found a job. Today, I am 40 years old. My children sleep peacefully in the next room. They have never heard screaming through walls. They have never learned to hide their tears. And when I look at them, I cry, because they will never know that world. Because their mother walked through fire, so they would only ever know warmth.